Welcome back to Arkstorie's next episode on entrepreneurship. Today we have with us Sam Paul Anna. I call him Anna. He's Akka's friend, so I call him Anna.
Definitely big Anna. Even for your Akka, but Anna.
Big Anna, for sure. Anna, first question I have for you is, what is your success motto?
See, you cannot say that there is a single character that this is the success motto for any really. There's no single recipe for success.
Okay.
For me, it has been having good people with me, fantastic people who have been very loyal to me, very loyal to the company, very loyal to the principles we have built. So that has been my success recipe, but I cannot define one particular moment and say, this is the success recipe. But of course, I would be very proud to say that there is a God's grace which you need,
Yeah.
There is some kind of help. People call it luck. People say, I'm not saying this is God. I'm saying there is some kind of God's grace. Polachi poda. Vachigo po abdin sollu, that is there.
Kirvai.
Something is there, which an opportunity is presented to you.
Yeah.
And God has also given you the wisdom to take that opportunity. So I think it's very important that you have that luck and the willingness to take that opportunity. Both is very necessary. And apart from that, having good people has been a big recipe for success for me, I think so.
Awesome. Well, second question then. What would you say is, a way you came out of a failure or pulling yourself out of a negative situation?
See, when I was younger, when I used to look at failures, I used to think you should never give up or anything. But you have to understand failure is the biggest opportunity for you. Once you fail, there's an opportunity for you to improve yourself. So you need to keep on working hard to understand what went wrong. So there are so many brands we do. For every Tonian guy, there is a brand which we failed in.
Yeah.
For every essentials, there is a brand which we failed in. Every slam gym, there is a brand which we failed in. So, for example, Pink Potato was one brand which we started in 2017. So we failed miserably in that. Now we have come back so strongly. Now 3 outlets are opened already and very successfully, doing very well. So you need to identify the problems there, like whether the food quality is bad, why people are not accepting the brand, all this, and you need to work hard. So for everything, there is a reason which will make you really grow hard. All your failures are stepping stone to success, and you should always understand that failures are for your own good.
Okay. Anna, when you think about entrepreneurs these days, one of the biggest things that we get scared about is funding. Or, oh my gosh, I don't know if this is a good idea. I don't know if people will believe in me to give me money. To young entrepreneurs who are trying to put things together and vision out like a Paulson's big group, what would you give them as a piece of advice?
See, funding is a very complicated subject. I've done various videos on that. See, I would not be the correct person for funding alone. But to be honest, initially when I started out, there was a lot of problem with funding because it was called debt funding. So you need to have a property which you mortgage. There was no other opportunity. You can borrow money from like private lenders where the interests are really high. Getting such high interest rates and to possibly do a funding for yourself, you can never survive these kind of businesses. You understand, as an initial entrepreneur. So things were very complicated back in the day.
Yeah.
But things are much easier right now. You can approach banks. First of all, there is, for new startups and new entrepreneurs, there's a lot of central government schemes.
Yeah.
There are some state government schemes also, but a lot of central government schemes where up to 1 crore, I think government is guaranteeing 85%. So if you need 1 crore, 85% of the loan is guaranteed by the government.
Yeah.
Only 15% I think you need to put in or something like that. It's called the credit guarantee scheme by the central government. A lot of schemes are like for women entrepreneurs, there are a lot more schemes there. So there are so many ideas that are coming up. Apart from that, see, you cannot go above the interest rate of 12 to 14%, which is very important. You need to keep the interest rate less than 12 to 14%. Apart from that, there are also other principles like, you can borrow from venture capitalists.
Yeah.
You can borrow money from equity sales and other things. So there are a lot of other ideologies, but I think basically you need to understand that when you come into the business, there is some saving you need to bring in also. So idea is, if you have an idea, you go work here and there, bring in some part of your money. Let's say at least 25-30% of the funding you put in, 70-80%, I'm sure the central government or some bank is going to give it to you with your business proposal.
Yeah.
Bank funding is the best way to go forward. Please do not get into private lending.
Okay. Final question. If you met a younger Sam Paul today, let's imagine I was that person, what would you tell him as a piece of advice?
I would tell you not to change anything in your life, because I was a man when I was very young. I decided that I should never do anything that I'm ashamed of later. For example, I'm not saying drinking or smoking is bad, but I was against it from childhood. I thought it was not part of the Tamil culture. So I was against drinking and smoking. I never did it. I was never womanizing. I was never doing all these fraud work. I was working hard, always putting 12 to 14 hours per day every day, right from childhood. The only thing I would possibly want to tell my younger self is to understand things better, not get angry initially. I used to get very angry initially, but now I think the maturity brings in a lot more understanding,
Yeah.
lot more calmness, and the exposure is giving you a lot more calmness to understand.
Yeah.
Oh, this is how it is going to pan out. So that is all I'm going to tell my younger self.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for having, given us this opportunity to interview you today.
Pleasure, Rajati, and sorry I'm late also today.
No worries at all. All right. Thank you, guys. We will catch you again soon.